And we give it up for Nfebe Bless. Let's encourage you. When the boy synthetic spoke to Nfebe this morning, he said he will double the money.
Members of the jury, respected guests of Shirlma show. Good afternoon. I'm Nfebe Bless Shoe. I'm the co-founder of Samacare. In 2015, my co-founder's dad was diagnosed of an advanced prostate cancer requiring palliative care. And that same year, his niece was born with hot water, all because she was left at home with an untrained caregiver, because both parents were at work. These are all the realities that our community faces today. This now pushed us to think out of the box about the welfare of the terminally ill, the welfare of children, and the welfare of caregivers themselves. Therefore, Samacare, our solution, is a suitable platform that seeks to combat the crisis plaguing the care economy in Cameroon and the world. In 2015, when you look at statistics by the International Labour Organization, you will see that 2.1 billion people were in need of care services. And out of these 2.1 billion people in need of care services, 1.9 billion were children below the age of 15. And 0.1 billion were the terminally ill persons. And 0.1 billion still were people living above their life expectancy. And predictions show that by 2030, the number of care recipients is going to increase from 2.1 billion to 2.3 billion, meaning that there is a crisis. How can we therefore combat this crisis? Samacare is therefore a platform that seeks to ease the difficulties of the terminally ill persons in need of personal care assistance in accessing quality and affordable home care services. When you look still at statistics by International Labour Organization in 2018, you will see that 606 million women had to declare themselves not ready for employment because of unpaid care work. And just 41 million men were inactive for the same reason. These are challenges faced by professional women, and I'm happy to see women in the whole world entrepreneurs. But I wonder about their productivity and how they get to manage their domestic responsibilities. Samacare, therefore, is a platform that seeks to alleviate the difficulties faced by professional women in joining the labor force because of their domestic responsibilities. And when you look at handbook by Horizon Firm with respect to domestic workers, you see that in Cameroon, less than 5% of domestic workers have employment contracts. And when you look at these statistics sent by Horizon Firm in 2011, you will see that out of 3 domestic workers out of 4 are being paid below the standard pay wage. And 90% of domestic employers testify that domestic workers suffer acts of violence. Samacare, therefore, is a platform that comes to ease the challenges faced by domestic workers and persons willing to work within this sector. We have competitors, but why are we different? Samacare sensitizes the public on the importance to professionalize domestic work and home care services in Cameroon. We identify persons who want to offer their services. We go ahead to train them. We have an academy where we train these persons to be professional. We place them to work in different households and we manage the contracts. And what happens is we pay them 80% of whatever we receive from our clients. We manage their contracts. We do not end at that level because we have competitors like people in the village who just call and say, Mami, I get pikin, send it for Douala, send it for Yahweh. No, we monitor the process to ensure that there is productivity. And when we monitor that process, we get feedback from our clients. We try to resolve problems with our caregivers and the client. And now, when it comes to technology, Samacare is not left behind. We are currently working on our GTAP platform, and the platform is there to enable us connect with our caregivers as well as our clients. So the platform is under development. So if you want to get a clue about what we do on the platform, samacare.com. And we are not leaving virtual reality behind. The Facebook man, Mark Zuckerberg. So we're using virtual reality for our elderly clients to make sure they are not depressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before the jury goes on with the questions, we're talking about domestic workers and the National Social Insurance Fund this year instituted a monthly pay of 7,000 francs for all domestic workers. So they are working on implementing that so that domestic workers can actually have social insurance paid. So I thought that would be necessary for everyone to know. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. Are there any laws governing the temporary workers in Cameroon? You say you want to legalize, I saw in your services, you want to legalize providing temporary workers in homes, right? I'm asking, do you know if there are any laws that you're supposed to abide to do that legally, like you were saying, to standardize it?
Yeah, one of the laws we talk about the law of paying domestic workers, paying people the minimum pay wage. You should not go below the minimum pay wage. So that's one of the things we ensure when it comes to the legal areas. And also, one of the things, just like what she just said about increasing the pay of domestic workers, which was something just last month.
No, why I was asking that question is, I believe there is actually a license you need.
Okay.
You need to go to your own and get a license.
Okay.
If you want to operate an agency that gives temporary staff, the government is very strict on it because they're trying to protect the workers.
Yeah, I think we are registered. We are registered as a business, and I think we have that on that process because when we started, I think 2019, we had a very terrible crisis. I would not like to share because there was kind of loss of life. So we are currently working on that. We are currently working on the document I'm talking about Kenya because we are still in court with respect to the crisis we have.
Yes, I think George's question you understand very well. It's not about legislation. Yeah. Are you a placement agency or you are a middleman? Because if you are a placement agency, you need what is called agreement. You need a license to operate. So what do you call? Are you doing placements?
No, we are placement. We are not a middle people. That's why I say we had a crisis in Yaoundé with one of our clients.
Okay, so if you are doing placement, okay, this is an advice. You need to have a license from the Ministry of Labour and vocational training. If you don't have it, then they can at any time tell you that you stop doing what they are doing. So you need that license.
Yeah, I think when we finished with in court, we had a case it was in court. So presently the lawyer is working on that. Presently.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think you have a very good business because you are solving a common problem. So many people have problems getting househelps. I equally like to know how you go about sourcing your workers or recruiting your workers. Okay, do you do some level of due diligence? Do you do some medical checks because you have transmissible diseases? You can pick somebody from some village and he comes to somebody's house and transmit the disease. Do you do that actually?
Yeah, we do that. That is why you see we are currently working on our digital technology because we have to use those platforms also to get workers. And one of the things we do now, it's very difficult for a lot of Cameroonians who have done maybe nursing programs to believe that they go back to give health at the level of the home. So we are still trying very hard to convince, especially those who have degrees in that area. But now most of our workers, that's why we have a lot of people, most of our workers come from remote areas. And that's why we have to set up a training center to train this person. Before you enroll with us, the very first thing you have to provide is a medical certificate. And presently, we work in partnership with the lab in Bamenda, where we have done a negotiation. You go there, you pay 15,000, they do all the necessary tests. Then now, when most of these people come from remote areas, they don't have money. If you don't accept to go and do a medical test, and when you are working with CAT, they charge for the medical fee, we advise you to go to the regional hospital in Bamenda, or you go to Bingo. You go as a blood donor. Because if you go as a blood donor, it cuts your cost. If you go as a blood donor, they do the tests for you for free and it cuts your
One of the ways that people get trafficked in Cameroon. Okay, have you heard of human trafficking before?
Yeah.
One of the ways that the most common means of trafficking is what you are doing. Okay. There's a law, the law of 2005 on human trafficking in Cameroon. And most of the people who have been charged for human trafficking are people who are involved in that business. It's a good business. But if you are not very careful, you can be one of them if you are not careful, actually. So I just want you to refer to this law, read the law, if possible get a legal practitioner to guide you through, and understand the things that you have to do and things that you don't have to do so that you don't end up having issues on your business. Okay?
I just want to ask you what saved us even with respect to what you're saying when we had a crisis for the fact that we had the IT part of the person who came as backup. That was what saved us in top. Like what you're talking about, human trafficking. We don't work with you unless your parents or somebody related to you comes and signs an undertaking. So it was the undertaking that helped, and I don't want to share within that process of the undertaking.
Sorry, the fact that a parent is involved in the process does not mean that
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because some parents also traffic their children.
So, I have more questions for you. So, I don't think this business is scalable. I don't think it's scalable. I want you to prove me otherwise.
The business is scalable.
I mean, in two ways. I want you to prove the financial scalability and also the operational scalability. Now I'm saying this business is human capital intensive. So to serve 1,000 homes, you need 1,000 people. And to do that, I don't know how you're going to handle 1,000 Cameroonians. Most people find it hard to handle 5 Cameroonians. So I want to understand how scalable this is in terms of financial scalability. You didn't talk about that. How much money you make per home, how scalable will it be, how will you get to maybe from 100 homes today to 1,000 homes. And if you ever get to 1,000 homes, how will you ensure that your service delivery stays the same as the scale? Because that's why I say I believe this business is not scalable.
Okay, so thank you for your question. I want to start by saying that I think most women are productive here. They are happy because their children are at home with caregivers. And I'm proud to say Samake presently we improve the productivity and self-actualization of over 500 Cameroonians. Why? We are taking care of somebody who is an accountant's baby. The person goes to work, the person is happy. He works smartly that day because the baby at home is safe in the hands of our caregiver. And that person is not just smart, the clients are coming and being impacted. And when you go back now, the employer also is happy because the accountant is productive. And now when we talk of scalability or managing these caregivers, presently if you look on the flyer, we have an office in Yaoundé. And what we have done is we have grouped our caregivers with social workers. These social workers manage these different caregivers. So presently, we have 4 social workers who manage the different caregivers. We group them. So every week we give a report from what is happening in the respective houses. And now what happens is we manage the contract of both our clients and our caregivers. So what happens is 80% of whatever a client pays to the company is paid to our caregiver. And 20% is used for the running of the company. When you look at our financial projection, I think 2017, 2018 to 2019, we were really in a crisis. And I think we ended those years with a financial deficit of $5,000. But in 2020, all thanks to the Tony Elumelu Foundation, we were able to secure a grant of $5,000, which really helped us come back on board. And we ended 2020 with a financial deficit of $1,000. And 2020, we made a financial profit of $4,000, which we are investing back especially on our technological area of the business. So care can't wait. So care is scalable and everybody needs care. You are here as smart because maybe your children are at home and they are happy. If they were not happy, you will not be happy. So care is scalable.
How do you make the money?
Okay, we make money from our clients. We pay for their monthly services.
Yes, give those details, your business, explain. Should I explain everything?
Okay, now what happens is Okay, what happens is this. We don't have a particular amount that you put that on that summer care and if the caregiver will just pay you 50,000. We have a Google form. You fill the Google form and in the Google form we have 3 main services. Either elderly care or like when you fill the form from there, we assess your pay needs. we assess your pay needs from our bubble form. We have clients that all of you here can be our clients, and this person pays 50,000, you pay 80,000, depending on your care, because we take care of elderly people. That people we have to bake them, change their clothes and all of that, so the payment ranges. But remember that we pay 80% to our caregivers and 20% comes back to the company, and we are investing in virtual reality, and we are looking forward to use virtual reality to make the care sector scalable, because we'll be selling it to our elderly clients who are depressed.
Yes. I'm asking again. Tell us how many clients you have today, how much do they pay on average, how much do you make a month? You tell me $4,000, $20,000.
Okay, presently we have 35 caregivers in Cameroon presently, and in a month we make at least 2 million. In a month, we make that money from our caregivers, but our revenue within that 2 million is around 20% of 2 million.
100,000. So you make like 200,000 every month? Or 400?
Yeah, 20% of it, because we pay the main staff also.
Okay, you pay 400,000 every month.
Yeah, 20% of it.
So I was saying that you didn't answer my question. Maybe you don't have the answer. How do you get from, you said how many caregivers you have today?
35.
How do you, because for this business to really be profitable, it has to scale, which is said is not scalable. When you get to 1,000 caregivers, 10,000 caregivers, which is 10,000 homes, how are you going to manage that? I'll tell you again, it's very difficult. HR with Cameroonians, it's a very difficult thing.
Yeah, it's a very difficult sector. Even as I was here, I was getting calls. So I was getting calls, and they say, oh, the caregiver got all this money at 5 o'clock. And the children are, so it's a very difficult sector to manage human beings. We change their chemical reaction. So it's really difficult, and that's why you see we focus more on the training. Our training, we focus more, and that's why I'm coming here, because we really want that Shirlma should invest in our training, so that we train this person.
I'm happy you're here, but you don't give me answers. You keep going around it. How will you get to 1,000? You said training. How will you train to 1,000? How will you manage them? What will you use to make sure that the delivery is to your standard?
Okay, presently our physical platform is successful, so our digital platform, S7 Care, which is under development, will be a means for us to manage these caregivers digitally, because we are looking forward to make sure all of our caregivers have Android smartphones, so that we manage them through our mobile application, and we manage them also through social workers.
Okay. Next, I think you actually have a very beautiful project. And also, I also like the spirit at which you actually take it in, because you're conscious of the risk that is actually involved in the sector. So being conscious or knowing, like when you actually know there is a problem, it's already kind of like halfway done, So that the fact that you're conscious of the idea is a very good thing. Is that okay? So I guess my question is, if we give you the 1 million today, what are you going to do?
Okay, if we have the 1 million, first of all, we'll invest on our digital platform, which will enable us, just like Mr. Churchy is asking about how we manage. So we are currently developing a platform that will make it easier for our clients. You just go get up in the morning, you go on the platform, you say, to do tasks for today, you click, and the caregiver goes on their own smartphone. They see what they have to do that the client has ticked, and they just go about it smoothly. So we want to develop that digital platform fully. And also we'll be investing on virtual reality. We're working hard by next year. We have our first test of it, where just imagine we have a old man we are taking care of, and he's depressed. You get a moment where he lost Makosa. We program Makosa 3D features, and push the headset on, and he's like happy. So we are going to be investing in our digital platform, our digital sector, and we're also going to be investing in finalizing our training center.
I'll just use this. You have focused so much on developing the business, which is very important. But there's some very basic things you have to focus on looking at first. If they are right, then you continue from here, expanding the business to the heights and other investors. Thank you. There are so many basic things that you don't do in present. Yeah, they can be your business. So if you want, maybe after this session, available here.
Thank you.
That's all from the partners.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that is what the shirlma show is all about. It's not just the money, it's the support.